could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you, you don't even notice. Should've told you straight away, you don't have to be afraid anymore. I know you haven't noticed. You know that I won't let you go. Put your arms around me and I'll let you know how it feels when time goes slow. And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you. I fall into you. Hey, I wish I could show you more, 'cause baby you deserve some more. But still you're here and that's what I adore. Should've told you straight away everything I have to say, but I'm afraid and I know you haven't noticed. You know that I won't let you go. Put your arms around me and I'll let you know how it feels when time goes slow. And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you. I fall into you. I fall into you.
This is my under sink grey water tank. Why have you got one of those, Chris? Well, most people don't, because most people's grey water just shoots straight out the side of the boat. Mine doesn't. And then the reason for that is because I wanted a deeper sink. I didn't want a caravan style sink. I wanted a deep sink because stop splashing, because there's wood all over the place, and wood and water don't go down too well. And whilst I try hard to reduce the amount of water marks on the wood, still inevitably happens. But I'm pretty sure it would happen more if I didn't have a deep sink. Where the water drains out of the sink is then lower than the skin fitting on the side of the boat, so water has to be pumped up and out. It's gone wrong. It went wrong, and I do try hard to keep this thing clean, and I do clean it out every so often. And the reason why it's all broken is because of my incessant need or requirement to keep things clean. OCD perhaps, but all the grease and grime that goes into that grey water tank hangs around, because it doesn't pump all of it out, and then that grease and some congeals into the bottom of the grey water tank, and then a horrible mess. So I cleaned it out, and to get rid of all the grease and grime, I put boiling water in it, because that would clear all the grease and grime out, wouldn't it? Except this little piece here is called a float sensor. This is the new float sensor, by the way, because the old one I've got to take it out. I think I broke it. I think that float sensor screamed at me saying, I'm boiling, and decided not to work. Now, it could be the pump at the back. It could be. So I took the pump off and I tested that out on my car battery, and the pump still pumps. So that means it must be the sensor, because there's no other moving parts. The Ultima switch is a highly reliable, solid state switch which uses no mechanical parts or toxic mercury to sense water levels and automatically controls a 12 volt DC or 24 volt bilge pump. The switch activates the pump when the water level reaches 2 inches or more and turns the pump off when the water level is below 3/4 of an inch. There's always 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. Herein lies the issue, which is why I need to clean it out every so often to get rid of all that grease and grime. But don't use boiling water, viewers, if you have one of these things, because I don't think it does the sensor any good. This bit of kit and pump, about 500 quid. So, and they're hard to get hold of because this solid state thing should never break, but they do. Look how gleaming that is now in there. Okay, you can't get all the water out, but you know, and there's the old solid state which I've got to take out and put it in there somehow or other. You can see some of that grime left in there. Generally speaking, clean. But next time I do it, I'm going to clean it out more regularly, but without boiling water. So here we go. I'm going to try and change that all over and get that thing to work. If it doesn't work, at the moment, I've got a bucket, which is, I have to say, a bit of a pain because, well, you know, a bucket's the same as a sink, isn't it? No, it's not. I use more water in a bucket than I do in the sink. It's easier to clean out, which is a bonus, but it's surprising how much you use your sink and how much you take a sink for granted. And then we don't have a sink, and you have to fill it with a bucket. Nice day for it, sun's out. It's fitted in, those 2 wires. And there's some wires at the back there that I needed to put together. It's relatively simple, but more importantly, it works. So I'm back to washing up as usual. Was it easy to fix? Yes, it was. If you've got the right kit. I relied on Colin, of course, because he's always got the right kit. And I'm expanding my knowledge on how to fix things and stuff I need on the boat. Crimp set and things that hold wires together and things. That's my first breakdown on the boat, which is not bad in nearly 3 years, and it was caused by my own silly mistake of putting boiling water down there. These bins are going to be replaced very shortly with different colour bins that mean different things to different people. Well, I mean, there's going to be stickers on the side of the bins to allow us all to recycle. I'm not so sure it's going to work. I mean, it's a government incentive. Mr. Green, what's his face, Ed Miliband, and all that Labour gang. And I get the reasons for it. We need to be as ozone-free, friendly as we possibly can, but I can't actually see it working. And here's the reason why. It means you need to segregate on your boat, something that we don't have an awful lot of space to do anyway, but we need to segregate our bottles, you need to clean them out, cans, plastics, and general waste. And there's probably some other stuff as well, I don't really know. And I used to do a lot of that when I was in a house. I was fastidious, there's a big word, fastidious about doing it. Since I've been on the boat, it all goes into general waste because maybe I'm not well organised, but even though I live on a 66-foot boat, there's still not enough space to segregate all your stuff, and there's not enough of those. Anyway, first of April, let's say, that's supposed to be coming in. Don't know if it's going to work. Let's hope so. It does appear to be looking a little bit worse for wear. I mean, see that point there? There's a hole in the boat there, look. I'm not sure if that's the root cause, but it does, well, it does look a bit broken. It's a shame. That was someone's boat, I assume. Must be. And though they might have bought it to do it up, but you know, for whatever reason it's sunk. There's a fella that follows me on the tube whose boat, I don't think it was as bad as that, but it did take on a lot of water. In short, it sunk. And that was because the skin fittings weren't fitted as well as they used to be when the boat was first built. So the skin fittings, you know, that hole on the side of that boat, what may have been a skin fitting, don't know, but we all have skin fittings where you allow water outside the boat, like your washing machine, not your toilet, your sink, you know, in the bathroom and in the kitchen. That's grey water, lets that out through pipes, skin fittings, and if they're not looked after, they can leak. And if for whatever reason they shake on water, and they shouldn't be on the water line, but sometimes they are a little bit close to the water line, and it's something that I would have thought would have been brought out on the survey, because this fella's just bought the boat. But the marine engineer that did the survey didn't look at the skin fittings. So something, if you're buying a new boat, make sure the skin fittings are above the waterline, and they should be just below the rubbing streak. Something to be aware of. Collins started his engine up, look. And we're on the move again.
Is there a place with sun all year round and pina coladas with pretty faces and
So whilst you're asking whereabouts in the world are you, Chris? Well, I'm heading towards a place called Royal Leamington Spa. I don't know if it still has a Royal in it. And, to be honest, there's lots of rubbish in the water. Lots of built up areas, lots of industrial parts of it. So I kind of thought, does it really have its royal status? So I asked a friend of mine who lives there, and I said, mate, Royal Leamington Spa, is it still royal? He goes, yeah. I said, oh, it's not very nice though. He goes, well, you're at the industrial end. And he took me for a trip round Leamington Spa. Lovely. It is absolutely lovely. So don't let this rubbish in the water paint a bad picture. Royal Leamington Spa is lovely.
Just tell me what you need and I'll listen.
Someone's kebab. I can remember when I was a lot younger, when I used to drink a little bit more than what I do now. 2 pints is all I can have these days. Don't want any more than 2 pints. And I don't have that regularly. Anyway, moving on. If I had a long way home, big kebab. A short way home, small kebab. And there was always a compass in it, because I never used to concentrate on where I was going. And when I finished the kebab, I kind of ended up close to where I was staying that night. Different barracks and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, there's some arts on the walls. I wonder if she's modelled on someone.
some bridges. I wonder what it's like living in a house that's on the canal, literally. I mean, to be honest, I wonder if they get cold. I wonder if it's colder when your foundations are actually in the water. I mean, I know it's colder on the boat in the winter when the foundations... Look at all this rubbish. I know it's colder on the boat when the foundations clearly are underwater. Foundations, I mean, 2 foot the boat's underwater. Wonder. Anyway, more rubbish I talk. More rubbish I think about whilst I'm wandering around on the boat. I learned today that Trump, Musk, don't know who, anyway, Trump wants to remove America from NATO and the UN because they're paying too much. Kind of agree. I don't want America to remove themselves from the UN and NATO, certainly not, but I do appreciate that they do pay more than their fair share, and we in the Europe need to step up, and we should have done that years ago, but spent our money on other things which I mainly disagree with. And the Chancellor, apparently, she's in a bit of a sticky situation of what she's going to have to do. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting geopolitically what goes on in the UK at the moment and Europe at the moment, NATO. I think there's a lot of moving parts. I don't know if it's America postulating in order to get the Europeans to pay more on GDP for defence. May well be the case, and I hope the Europeans do pay more for defence. When I first joined up, we used to have, well, 7% of GDP was spent on defence. Now, well, okay, we're at 2.3, and by 2027 we're going to get to 2.5. Still not enough, Mr. Starmer. Not enough. Not enough at all. And that's there, look. Our military's in a very bad state. Some builders building. Costa drive through. I don't know if you see that through there, through the trees, next to Morrison's. Morrison's, one of our main supermarkets. I quite like Morrison's. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I read a report that they're struggling. I hope not. I like Morrison's. Don't shop there that often, but when I do shop there, I've always enjoyed it. Why don't I shop there that often? Because it's the other end of Banbury. The Moorings is called. Looks a nice pub, and it would be a little remiss for the Moorings not to have any moorings. Little with some mooring spots. Delta Marine Services, specialist boat builders.
I don't want
Now these properties, seem quite nice. I don't want to nose in the properties, not on camera anyway, but there seems to be quite a few empty. Now that means to me that either not very good, which they're new, who knows, but the rent might be quite high as well. That's the trouble with this country. There's not enough properties, supply and demand, and those that are here, I mean look, of those three, all three are empty. Maybe they are a little bit expensive to rent or buy. All properties are expensive at the moment. Don't know how the government are going to solve that issue when there's stacks of people coming in on a daily basis across the channel on small boats. Don't know. Be different if I was Prime Minister, I tell you.
I've got some joss sticks going. I like the smell of sandalwood, and just get a nice smell. That float meter costs in the region, I don't know, between 80 and 90 quid. I think it was about 85. So a lot cheaper than buying a new water tank, which costs 250, and if I bought the pump at the back, that would have cost another 230. So just testing the sensor was a good call, to be honest. Yes. Yeah. Why do boats sink? I mean, I mentioned one thing about water coming in from the side of the boat through the skin fittings, but generally speaking, they sink because, well, water gets on the inside somehow or other. That fella whose boat sunk, not the one on the video, but the someone who watches me on the tube, his boat's okay now. He got it refloated, got it pumped out of water, dried it out. Now he's doing a good job of painting, getting it all nice and cosy, ready for next winter. Because the summer's here, it's come early. I don't know why it's come early. Net zero, don't think so. I think we've just been lucky. I haven't had my fire on for, I don't know, 3 weeks-ish, at least. So, an unseasonably warm spring. But that makes it difficult for filming. But I'd rather have a warm day for boating and the challenge of colour correcting when I'm editing. Well, I'm waffling now, so thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, and maybe I'll see you next week with Hat and Locks. Until then, chill.